Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and finally, I'm so happy to review this to you guys. This has been something that I've been waiting to review all week long. I've been hyping this up all week, ever since I saw promos for it. I got more and more excited for it. Actually, I waited till last week to review this to you guys, but I'm finally going to be reviewing to you the premiere of American Horror Story Freak Show, Episode 1, Monsters Among Us. And guys, this was my most anticipated show of this year. And when I say that, I mean out of any show to premiere this fall, this was the one I wanted to see the most. It was. It was the one that I thought was the best out of all the shows premiering. It was one that I was most interested in, and I was just really interested in it. I thought it was a really good story. I liked the idea of it. I loved American Horror Story last year. I was really looking forward to Freak Show. I liked that this one seemed actually scary, while Coven was not scary at all. And overall, how was American Horror Story Freak Show? Did it live up to its anticipation? Fuck yes, because American Horror Story Freak Show is fucking amazing. It is probably the best show on TV right now. I am not kidding. American Horror Story is the best show on TV right now. In general, not just Freak Show, but like in general. Especially after this episode. I'm terrified of clowns. I'm terrified of clowns. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight because of clowns. But let's just get to this premiere because I thought it was amazing. I'm not just going to talk about the clown because I know people are going to refer to this as the clown show, which I really hope they don't because this show is just amazing. So let's just get to it. So we see this narration basically from Bet and Dot. They are two conjoined twins, which we'll get to. They are basically our main character. And they're saying that they're about to enter the gates of hell. Gates of hell as in sort of, gates of hell, think of like, gates of hell basically. Well, Dot said that. So then we see in Jupiter, Florida in 1952, a milkman arrives to deliver milk, and the milkman sees two previous deliveries still on the porch. He goes into the house to investigate, calls for the woman. He snoops through the house, obviously very nervous, and there's dinner on the table, and he finds the woman dead beside the table, completely dead, and that was really big. I wasn't expecting that. And the milkman grabs a rolling pin, checks out the upstairs, opens the closet doors, shrieks, and next thing we see is someone being wheeled into the hospital. And it's a really intense scene here. I love the music that was playing in the scene too. Really creepy music, really set the tone perfectly for the show. Perfectly set the tone. I mean, just perfectly set the tone. So, doctors are examining conjoined twins. They're freaking out over what they're seeing. They're like freaking out. It was just really big because they're like, there's one heart, there's one rib. It really just shows the horror of, like, these people think they're freaks, basically. So, you see that they're freaking out and everything, and then we see our main character, Elsa Mars, played by Jessica Lange, which, yes, this is her final season, and what a great part this is for her to play, because this is probably the best role she's ever played. She is a woman who has come into the hospital and persuades one of the nurses to let her don her pinstriper outfit to gain entry into the room that's housing the abomination. She runs a freak show that is pretty much closing down because in 1952, freak shows were not that popular anymore. That's kind of dying out. So she's pretty much in desperate need of more acts. So she sees Dot and Bet, and everyone's like, "Oh, don't go into that room! Don't go into that room! It's so terrifying! Don't go in there!" But she ends up reacting with such joy and wonder, like she doesn't care that they're freaks. She's like, okay, she just says what beautiful girls they are. To her, it just seems like it's nothing. So I was kind of like, this woman's very interesting. The thing about Elsa's character that I think is very interesting is that she is definitely, I don't want to say an anti-hero, she kind of is an anti-hero. Because she is definitely better than Fiona. She's not Fiona. Fiona was the devil. Let's not get into Fiona. Fiona was an awesome character, but Elsa is so much better. Like, so much better. So, Elsa tries to befriend them. And here's where we find out more about Dot and Bet. Dot and Bet are two very polar opposites. Dot is very bitter, very upset most of the time, and Bet is the complete opposite. Bet is really happy about what's going on. Bet is just always in a really good mood, and that's just how Bet is. They're always, Bet is sort of like, not really a celebrity, but she definitely is like a more flirty type of person. She's happy most of the time. She's cheerful. Dot is definitely more depressed, more sad. That's just the way that those two characters are, and I thought that was really interesting. And Sarah Paulson definitely portrayed those two characters very well, in my opinion. Probably the best role she's ever played on this show. I liked it better than Cordelia. I thought she did a great job in this role, and I thought the character was definitely very interesting. So then we see two young adults making out in the field, and the guy leaves quickly to go to the car, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to be good. And, they're playing like this happy music and everything. It's this really nice sunshiny day, but then of course we meet the clown. Holy shit, that clown. Let's get to that clown. Twisty the Clown is our main villain of the season. He is terrifying. They said that this clown is going to be the most terrifying clown in the history in fictitious history. I don't know if that's true, but he's definitely up there because that thing scared me, and I don't get scared very easily. You guys know that I don't get scared very easily. If you guys see my reviews of things like Penny Dreadful, American Horror Story, I credit these things because I don't get scared that easily, and they scare me very well. So this was very well done. Ryan Murphy did an amazing job, playing this out. And basically, the clown comes up to their spot, begins doing a little performance. He at first gives this girl flowers and everything. He's sort of flirting with her, and the guy comes back. The guy comes back and everything, and he's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" The clown then knocks out the guy, then the girl. The girl wakes up, and it's huge here. This clown is really beating her boyfriend, stabbing him to death, and she's just trying to get away, and she runs away. So that was so creepy. So creepily done the way it was done. It was really creepy, but I thought it was definitely a really good scene. So, enough of the clown. We'll get more into the clown later. There's a lot more of the clown to talk about, but Elsa's then standing in a diner, and she sees one of her acts, Jimmy Darling, who is, in my opinion, probably the best character on this show. We'll get to why. We'll get to why in a second, but basically, he is talking with a waitress. He's sort of flirting with her, and, she tells him not to blow it by exposing himself in public like this, because he has this deformity in his hands. His hands are like lobster hands, basically, which is a real condition, and I like that, because these are actual people, just to say. And the interesting thing about this is that they casted real freaks to play some of these roles, which we'll get to when we get to the freak show. But the bearded lady, lobster hands, all these things, they are real. And it's interesting to see the way they portrayed that, definitely. So, basically, she told him not to blow, and basically, he shows, her show seems to be on its last leg, and she's doing all she can to make something out of it. He is kind of not exactly happy with this. He's like, "Oh, come on, Elsa, let me just do this." But basically, he says, "You're out of your mind and everything." And basically, she's just doing all she can to make this show continue at this point. So then we see a group of women in a house, and they're talking about each other's sex lives. I thought that was interesting. One of the women gets up and goes into a room with Jimmy. And we find out that Jimmy actually has a job sexually pleasing women with his claw hands. And I was like, okay then. I guess his character's really weird. I guess his character's going to be another Tate sort of. Well, not really Tate, but his character's more like, say, the character he played in Asylum, and less of the character he played in Murder House. This is more of the character he played in Asylum, definitely. Which I like, because Asylum was creepy. This is so much more creepier, though. So, he now has this job, and I thought that was interesting. So then Elsa's talking with Bet and Dot about the tragedy they've experienced, which I thought this was a really interesting twist. The reason why they were found, and she asks them about their dead mother. And Bet tells Elsa how she died, but Elsa sees through her lame story. She says that she tells the twins they better get their story straight before the cops come and ask for more details, because they're going to come. They're going to probably arrest them. And another interesting thing here, Dot actually stabbed Bet. Dot actually stabbed Bet once, and basically Bet has like this scar here. So I think that was really interesting as well. The way that was going on. The characters are really interesting in that way. I don't know if Dot's definitely more depressed than Bet. Definitely, you can just tell she's always negative, while Bet's usually really positive. And even the experience, like Bet thinks this is gonna be a good experience. Dot doesn't really think so. And then we see that this Psycho Clown. The Psycho Clown is on a killing spree at this point. Complete killing spree. He's killed a bunch of people. Twisty's killed a bunch of people. In the middle of the forest, in a beat-down car, he keeps this girl and another boy locked in a cage. And that was probably the hardest scene to watch from Twisty in this episode, because these people are, like, screaming for their lives. It was so hard to watch. Now, my only thing with Twisty, he is creepy. He is very creepy. But I don't want that to be the only thing about him. I want to know why he is doing this. I know it's only episode 1. But on the show, for this to work, we need to see the man behind Twisty, because this is not some random clown. American Horror Story never does anything that can't actually happen. Well, except for Coven. Coven probably could not happen. But that actually is just some serial killer, and we need to find out why this guy is actually doing this. I really hope they spend an episode focusing just on Twisty's character, seeing how he became this way. It'd probably be the creepiest thing ever, but it's really what we need for this character to work, in my opinion. If they want this character to work, it needs to be done that way. So, no complaints, just saying. They need to do that eventually. Not right now, but they need to do that. So Dawn and Bet are in a hurry to leave, and when Elsa comes by to stop them, she knows that they killed their mother, and therefore she says she's willing to save them. She's willing to save them because of this. And that's why she's pretty much there for all of them, because she wants to save them. She wants to give them a better life. And I kept wondering, why is she so concerned? What got her to be so concerned? And at first I thought maybe, she went through this, maybe she's just very desperate. And we then see the twins entering her freak show, and we see that they're not happy, and basically that was a very, well done scene. I thought that scene was very well done. And they each have different thoughts on being there. Dot isn't really liking it. She's very upset by the condition they're in. But Bet is intrigued by the glamour, the stardom, being a celebrity, because that's just how Bet is. Bet is definitely likes to be the star. She likes to be like a celebrity. And I think that's very interesting about her character. It's something I really like about her character, definitely. And, yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. Then we meet Ethel Darling, who is Kathy Bates' character. And Ethel Darling is the bearded woman. She comes in with food for the twins. And she makes them eat and tries to tell them that they're in the best place for folks like them, and that everyone's counting on them to save the show. She likes this gig. She likes doing this. She's happy about it. And, she's really happy about what she's doing. Oh, one thing. I do want to talk about this. We see a montage of Elsa talking to this other woman about how these people aren't freaks, but they're treated like it. That's basically the message of this. The thing I like about this season is that you do have that horror with Twisty, but the real horror is how people are treating these people. They treat them like, as they call them, freaks. But they're really just normal people. That's the real message of this season, is that these people, even though they have these deformities, they are normal people. And there's this really good scene where you see Jimmy, this guy who has this, I don't remember his name, but he has like seal-like limbs. I saw the interview of this guy. He's awesome. He's a real freak. That is a real condition he has. You see this transgender, who he actually is a transgender in real life. And again, as I said, they actually casted real people to real freaks, as I call them. I hate to call them freaks because they're normal people. They're really awesome. But they casted people like this little, the shortest woman in the world. I believe she's really old, but she sounds like she's 3. They also casted this guy who's a midget. They casted, a transgender. They casted a woman with no legs. They casted this guy with seal-like limbs, and they casted I'm trying to think of who else they casted. Who am I leaving out? I'm not leaving out anyone. And that's basically all they casted. So, so yeah, I thought that was definitely really interesting with that. I was really, thought that was very good that they did that, because it really makes you think this is actually true. These freak shows, they actually happen. This is not something that they're just making up here. This actually happened, and I thought that was definitely very interesting that they did that. And there's this great scene, that scene was definitely really well done. You see Jimmy saying, I don't really like what Elsa's doing, and they kind of don't want to be part of this freak show anymore. And, Jimmy says, oh, you gotta look on the bright side. But then these guys come in with alcohol bottles, start throwing them at them, calling them freaks, and it's really devastating to watch, because, again, they just want to be treated like normal people, but they're not. They don't treat them like they are normal people, but yet they are normal people. They have souls. They're just not normal like you and I are. They are normal people, though, because they have feelings. And I like that the show shows that they have feelings, they care about what they're doing, and I think that was definitely really well done. So then we see Jimmy, and he's talking with his mother, Ethel, about how much he'd like to get out of the freak show business. He's not happy with it anymore. He wants to get out of it, because he's been here. You can tell that Jimmy's just been here for too long. He's tired of it. And she says that they belong here, and she says that if he wants to be a hero, to go and get the twins to eat. And I thought that was an interesting twist, that was actually his mother. I like that the way they connect all these people together, too. I like that, definitely. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then we see probably the craziest scene of this episode so far. A detective shows up to take Dot and Bet away from murdering their mother. He's basically about to arrest him, but Jimmy doesn't let him. He ends up stabbing this guy with a razor blade because the guy calls them freaks. He says, I'm going to arrest all of you freaks. And Jimmy's just like, don't call us freaks. He stabs the guy with a razor blade, slashes the man's throat. He's had it. He's had it. He is done with people calling them freaks. He's done with it. He does not want to be called a freak anymore, and he slashes that guy's throat. And while people could say that it was a little fast-paced, I like that was, done that way because, again, he's just sick and tired of living this life, and I thought that was just a very well-done scene, in my opinion. Evan Peters, man, seriously, he is amazing. I mean, he gets better and better every season. I think this is probably the best role he's ever played. Tate is always going to be the best role he ever played, but this is probably his second best role I've seen him do. I love his character. I love his character this year. Probably my favorite character. So that was basically the first half of the episode. The second half of the episode was more of a show. We kind of saw, and I thought this was really well done. We see this mother, played by Frances Conroy, who's always on this season. She has, like, a supporting role as some, like, mother and her son. Her son is a brat. Total brat. He's a son that's, like, very rich and everything. And they come to see the show, and he's like, oh, I'm getting bored. There's no freaks, Mom. Can we just go? Like, he's so spoiled to the point where it's really annoying. And they're the only ones in the audience. And I thought this next scene was very well done. We actually get to see what a freak show is like. What the freak show was like back then, what happened in a freak show. And Ethel comes out and introduces all of them. And then we get probably what I thought was the best scene. Definitely one of the best scenes of the episode. Elsa sings. Damn, Jessica Lange she's an amazing singer. I did not think they were going to have as much singing on the show as they would. But looking at the previews, there's a lot of singing in this show, which I'm looking forward to because, I mean, again, the season, while it is horror, it's more about acceptance of being a freak. That's really what it's about, and I really like the idea of the singing part of it. I like how they're showing us what a freak show is, and sort of that mother and son scene, I kind of thought of this, that's sort of through our eyes. That's sort of us seeing what it was like back then. I thought that was really well done. The musical number was amazingly choreographed, very elaborate, definitely for a show that's not a musical. I like that it was, they incorporated that in there, because Ryan Murphy, of course, he writes Glee. No surprise that he would put that in there. I'm happy they did that because I thought it was amazing. I thought she killed it. I thought she did an amazing job with that song. I want to find that song on iTunes. I want to buy it, and because that song was she killed it. It was amazing. So they leave the show, and then after the show, they offered to buy the twins for $50,000. However, the bargain isn't taken. They're saying, you can't buy them, and they're like, no, we don't want to be prostitutes, and they say that they found a home there, and they're actually happy where they are at this point. And Ellison says that her troupe of performers is a family, and nobody breaks up her family. And I thought that was a really good scene, because it really sums up what the show is all about, that they are a family, and they're going to stay a family. Families stick together. That's really what the message is all about here, is that families stick together, and she's sticking up for her family. So then, basically, it's the end of the show, and Twisty is sitting on a merry-go-round. Holy shit. Oh my god. I'm not a fan of them randomly putting Twisty in scenes because it's really creepy. I understand this is a horror show, but, jeez, they love to scare us. They do. When Ryan Murphy said that you would go into cardiac arrest over that clown, I thought he was kidding. By the end of the season, I don't know if I'll still be here. I don't know if I'll still be here in One Piece, guys. I really don't know. We'll have to see, but I honestly do not know. So, Jimmy and the performers, Jimmy is really pissed at this point. They take the body of the detective into the field, and he says, you know what? They think of us as these murderer freaks. Let's do that then. And if anyone tries to mess with any of them again, they'll end up like the detective. So, I really feel like this is going to go to them, basically killing off all of these people. I really feel like that's going to happen. I don't know when exactly that's going to happen, but I definitely feel like that is going to happen. I don't know when, but I feel like there's definitely going to be a scene coming up this season where a bunch of them end up killing, all the people that call them freaks. That's going to be an awesome episode when that happens. Probably not going to be until, the second half of the season, but that's definitely going to be really awesome. If that was a mid-season cliffhanger, I'd really be happy with that. That'd be really awesome. And then the very last scene of the episode. Ethel brings Elsa dinner, and Elsa says that she has a confession to make, and she brought the twins to her camp to attract large crowds that would in turn watch her. And I was like, what? Watch her? What are we talking about here? So I love the way this episode ends. Ethel goes away, tells Elsa to eat, and before Elsa goes to bed, we see her undoing her stockings. And I was wondering, is she going to cut herself or something? I was wondering if she was, like, cutting herself or something like that. Instead, we find out that her legs have been amputated, which means, yes, Elsa is also a freak. That was an awesome twist. I thought that was just such a great way to end such an amazing premiere. And just, wow, this was such an amazing premiere. I love this premiere. I loved everything about it. Oh my god, this season is going to be so amazing. And there's still characters we haven't met yet. We haven't met Emma Roberts' character, who's going to be this fortune teller. We haven't met Angela Bassett's character, who is a woman that has 3 breasts. We haven't met Michael Chiklis' character, who is the strongest man in the world. We have a lot of characters to still meet, and I'm looking forward to meeting these characters, especially with how the show is going. I also like they've incorporated Pepper from Asylum onto the show. They actually referenced Asylum at one point. They said, hey, we're all going to go to an asylum. I like that reference because I kind of feel like Pepper is going to be how she got to the asylum. Because Pepper was a character that was supposed to be a side character on Asylum, but everyone ended up loving her, so that's why she's back on Freak Show. And I really feel that since this is 1952, which is before the Asylum, they're going to show us how she got to that Asylum, which I'm looking forward to personally. I think it's going to be really cool if they do that. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think that definitely would be really cool if they do that. So let's get to the acting in the show. Acting in the show, fantastic acting. Everyone is absolutely fantastic. I have no issues with the acting. Let's get to the highlights, though. Sarah Paulson is our main character. Actually, no. Jessica Lange, I'd say, is our main character as Elsa. This is the best role she's ever played by far. If this is truly her last season, she went out with a bang because this character's amazing. I don't even recognize her. It's hard to recognize her because she did that German accent just so well, and it's really hard to recognize her in this role. Yes, I know a lot of her roles are the same. She smokes, but this role's very different because she's an amputee, she's a freak, and she's kind of, I don't know if she's I'm wondering if she might be hiding it from everyone, if anyone knows that she actually has these amputated legs. I don't know. I think they do because of what Ethel said, but I'm not sure. But she definitely is amazing. Sarah Paulson, wow, this is such an amazing performance from her because the thing I love about her character is she's playing 2 different characters here. Think about it. She is playing 2 different characters, Bet and Dot, 2 people who are not the same at all. One is very positive, one is very negative, and she does it perfectly. Perfectly pulls it off. I have no problems with her character. Her character is just flawless. She's perfect. I have no problems with her character at all. In my opinion, though, the best character on this show is Evan Peters as Jimmy Darling. He is by far my favorite. Evan Peters has always been one of my favorite actors on this show. He really kills in this show. I love that he is not taking shit from anyone about them being freaks. I love that twist. I like that he is kind of fed up about being in this freak show and he wants to leave. I think his character overall is just going to be really interesting. The only character, I will say this, my only complaint about the show, if I can find one complaint I have, is that Kathy Bates' character, Ethel, is not that interesting. I like her character, but she's not as interesting as the others. That's literally the only complaint I have. Let's talk about the creepiest part of the show. John Carroll Lynch as Twisty. Holy shit. First of all, he has no dialogue in this episode. And I don't think he's going to for a while because he has a mask. And I feel like when he takes off that mask, then we are going to actually hear him speak. And when he speaks, it's going to be really creepy, maybe sort of like Pennywise, because this is actually before it happened. The movie It. I don't know if it's Pennywise. I'm not saying this is Pennywise, but I feel like this clown definitely reminds me a lot of Pennywise. I haven't seen It, but my friend Caden, aka the Kid of Awesome, has been anticipating this for so long. He's been telling me, I think it's going to be, he thinks this clown's going to be Pennywise. I don't know if he's going to be Pennywise, but I think he's going to be like Pennywise. Also, I want to know why Twisty is doing this. That's the best part of the show by far, though, is the cinematography and the visuals. Cinematography is amazing. What's really cool is whenever Ben and Dot you see them having a conversation with someone, they do like this really cool split screen effect, so it's like you are Bet and Dot, like you're seeing what they're seeing. It's really cool the way they do that. I thought that was definitely really well done. I don't think I've ever seen something like that done before. Really, really good editing there. I love the cinematography there. Really good cinematography. The editing's amazing. This was the longest episode of American Horror Story's ever done. So it flew by, though, so quickly. I was so invested into the story the entire time. There was nothing I didn't like about this premiere. I thought everything was amazing. Everyone just did such an amazing job. I had no issues with anything at all. Nothing. I can't find one complaint. Not one complaint. Which is amazing, because there's not one complaint. Really, I have nothing to complain about. Trying to think if there's anything else to say. Visual effects are amazing. Twisty, especially, is just so creepy. They have really managed to bring in something really creepy. And the thing I like is that a lot of people say that, you know, horror things, they're not that creepy anymore. They have found a way to bring back the classic, like, monster, scary monsters. Now, again, Twisty is not a monster. I really feel that he has some sort of motive for doing this. And here's the reason why I think they're saying he's going to be so creepy. He already is really creepy. But what if they get us to root for him? What if we find out why he's doing this? I kind of have this theory that that girl that he was with, maybe he had a relationship with a girl, and she didn't like him, and, you know, she liked him, and then he got the deformity, and, like, she was scared of her mind, he killed her, and now he kills anyone who, like, freaks out over his deformity. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing definitely what his face looks like. I heard it's going to be terrifying. I heard it's going to make people, like, throw up. Like, the crew had to leave the set. That's how terrifying it was. That is going to be very interesting to see what happens there, definitely. I like that they're done with the bringing people back from the dead. That's really the thing that drove me nuts with Coven. Let me say this about Coven. Looking back, Coven was not as good as I thought it was. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking with Coven. Looking back, Coven was the worst season of this show. Without a doubt, it was the worst season of this show. Bringing people back from the dead was one of the stupidest twists they've ever done. It was a comedy. It was not scary. This is the exact opposite. When someone dies, they die on this show. Ryan Murphy said it. When someone dies, they're dead. They're not coming back. There's no coming back for them. Because that's life. People die. They don't come back. When someone dies, they don't come back. That's just how it works in life. So, I applaud him for doing that. Because, like, when someone dies, they don't come back. It's that simple. So, I like that he's doing that, because if he wouldn't do that, I would really be upset that he didn't do that. Because they need to do that. And the season's already so creepy and so well done. I'm so looking forward to the rest of the season. It looks amazing. The promo looks so fantastic. Apparently, like, Ben and Dot are going to go missing. I know in the next episode we're going to meet Angela Bassett's character. We're going to meet Michael Chiklis' character. And we're going to meet Emma Roberts' character, who I'm really looking forward to. All three of those characters. They all look like amazing acting from all of them. I loved Angela Bassett last year on Coven. I'm sure she's going to do better on this. And my only thing with Kathy Bates, again, is that her character was so interesting last year, and she's not as interesting this year. But overall, I love this show. This is probably the best show on TV, in my opinion. Out of all the shows I'm watching, this is the show I like the most. I love this show to death. I can't wait for the next episode. I love the twist of Elsa being an amputee. I think that's so well done. I love the twist that she's actually a freak. I think that's really cool. Let me know what you guys think of the show, though. Do you like Elsa being an amputee? Do the other freaks know about it? I think they sort of do, but I'm not sure. I'm going to refer to them as freaks because it's a freak show. That's all I'm going to say. Ben Dot, what do you think about Ben Dot? They're definitely very interesting characters. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. You know, definitely. I'm kind of thinking, like, Ben Dot, one of their heads is going to get cut off, and then we'll only see Dot, because the majority of the narrations is Dot. Bet is in the narration, but in the narration, it's only Dot, not Bet. So that's definitely very interesting. Jimmy. Is Jimmy going to kill anyone that, you know, messes with the freaks? I really feel he's going to do that. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do, definitely, what happens there. What do you think of the mother and son? I don't know. Definitely they're very spoiled, rich family. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with them, with those characters as well. Who's your favorite character on the show? What do you think of Twisty? That thing is just so creepy. Twisty is just way too creepy for me. I don't want to talk about it that much because it's going to give me nightmares. But that's basically it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sorry this review was so long, but I was so looking forward to this. I think it was long, at least. I don't know. I didn't check the time limit. I can't see the time limit on my camera, so I'm assuming this is long. I think it's long, but that's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in my next video, which will be for my review of the Vampire Diaries. So I'll see you guys for that. And again, let me know what you guys think of the show. FX, amazing network. Just FX is so amazing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.